Part 2 of My Career Pathways gives us even more guidance on interviews, what employers look for, STEM careers, a community college profile, and more.
Remind me what STEM stands for again?
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Wow, I'm sure there are plenty of career paths just in STEM.
Definitely only giving us a tip of the iceberg. Did you know we have another community college located in La Junta, Colorado? In fact, Colorado has 13 community colleges across 39 locations.
Talk about lots of choices. I hear they aren't just 2-year associate degrees either.
Yep, they offer short-term certificates like an 80-hour certified nurse aide or even a bachelor's in applied science.
Welcome to Otero Junior College. We are a 2-year college located on a beautiful 40-acre campus in La Junta, Colorado. La Junta is about 65 miles east of Pueblo, Colorado, located on Highway 50 in an area known as the Arkansas Valley, aptly named for the Arkansas River that runs through the valley. The town's population is close to 8,000 residents. The leading economic driver of the area is agriculture, with acres of farmland and ranchland surrounding the city. Summertime finds bountiful supplies of watermelon, cantaloupe, and other produce being sold in the roadside farmers markets throughout the valley. The city also supports numerous other manufacturing, retail, and service businesses. Year-round, tourists visit the area to enjoy the historic Bent's Old Fort and the world-famous Kashari Indian Kiva and Museum, which is located on the OJC campus. Otero Junior College was established in 1941. McDonald Hall, located at the entrance of the college, was the original college building. The majestic rock building was built during the early 1940s by workers employed with the Work Progress Administration Program, often referred to as the WPA. The unique rocks used in the construction of the building were quarried from the Canyonlands, located just a few miles south of the college. Today, the building is home to many of the college's administration offices, including the President's Office and the Welcome Center. At OJC, students have many choices for their academic path. They can pursue an Associate of Arts degree or an Associate of Science degree. These 2 degrees are designed to be completed in 2 years of full-time study and are guaranteed to transfer to a university in the pursuit of a bachelor's degree. Students can also pursue several workforce-ready degrees and certifications that will have them trained and ready for the workforce when completed. In the OJC Humanities Center, students will often take their English, Humanities, Speech, and Theater courses. These courses are the core classes for both an Associate of Arts and an Associate of Science degree. The Humanities Center is home to many of the faculty offices. Every faculty member has open office hours posted on their course syllabus and on their office doors. Students are encouraged to visit their instructors outside of class time to clarify questions, seek additional help, or explore topics in more depth. You will find that at OJC, you are not a number. You are someone your instructor will know by name. Our instructors take their jobs very seriously, and they will do all they can to help you succeed. OJC is very proud of the vibrant international program that we have been able to build over many years. Each year, about 60 students from countries from across the world spend 1 to 2 years with us, studying, learning about the American culture, and sharing their culture with us. The International Office is a home base for these students, where they receive assistance to help with all aspects of their experience at OJC. The Humanities Center is also home to the Ed Stafford Theater, a 500-seat theater with state-of-the-art stage, lighting, and sound. The Otero Players, a campus theatrical group, performs at least 2 productions a year in the theater, and the community utilizes the theater on a regular basis for concerts and events. Wheeler Hall is in the center of the college. Inside this building are numerous classrooms, science laboratories, and the Learning Commons. The Learning Commons is the modern-day version of a library. You'll notice an obvious lack of books in the area, because in today's modern academic world, students rarely utilize books for their research or academic support. Instead, they utilize online resources that require technology for access. The staff in the Learning Commons are available to help students find the electronic resources they're searching for and assist them with the use of technology to access those resources. There's a saying here at OJC, you have to work really hard to fail. The reason for that is because there are so many free services available to help students succeed. In the Learning Commons and the Academic Success Center, you'll find math, English, and science tutors and group study sessions. The Collaboration Room in the Academic Success Center is home to what is called Plus Sessions. These are additional study sessions offered for some of the more challenging science courses, such as biology, chemistry, anatomy, and physiology. The Academic Support Center is also home to TRIO, Student Support Services. The program is focused on providing academic, advising, and financial counseling support for students who are first generation, low income, or disabled. And if you need a cup of coffee, there's a Starbucks coffee shop in the Learning Commons. As you leave the Learning Commons, head on down the west hallway of Wheeler Hall, and you will find the geology, chemistry, and physics classrooms and laboratories. These classes, along with biology and astronomy, will make up some of your core science classes needed to transfer. Once you cross through the breezeway out of Wheeler Hall, you will enter the adjoining Life Science Building. The Life Science Building is home to several healthcare professions programs, including nursing, medical laboratory technician, health navigator, and emergency medical services. In the Nursing Simulation Lab, students are able to get hands-on experience using these computerized mannequins. There are a total of 4 adults and 2 babies. The mannequins can simulate everything a human body does, such as breathe, throw up, change skin color, and even give birth. In the Emergency Medical Services program, students can earn their EMT Basic or EMT Intermediate certification. This unique laboratory is home to simulated ambulance. Once basic skills are learned in the classroom, students can perfect their skills in the crowded confines of the simulated ambulance that has the same layout and limited space as a real ambulance. If you like science, think you would like to work in the medical field, but not sure you want to go into nursing, becoming a medical laboratory technician may be the career field you're looking for. This program trains students to perform routine medical laboratory procedures and tests. The Student Services Center is one of the most important departments on campus. We call this our one-stop shop, because all within the same area, you can have your questions answered about scholarships, financial aid, or work-study positions. This is where you'll meet with your career counselor, do your placement testing, get advice for classes, get your student ID, and pay your bill with the cashier. McBride Hall is also home for the Math Center. This is the place to go when you need help with math and math-related coursework. The math facility offices are located in the Math Center as well as student tutors. McBride Hall has numerous classrooms, including 2 large computer classrooms and the largest classroom on campus, McBride 137 Lecture Hall. The lecture hall holds up to 100 students with outlets in the desks so the students are able to bring their computers to class with them. Most class sizes at OJC are about 15 to 20 students, so McBride 137 is one of the few classrooms that can accommodate more students for lecture classes. The McDivitt Center sits in the north end of campus and is home to the Cosmetology program, the Agriculture program, and the SCORE Center for Economic Development. The Cosmetology program at OJC is designed to be completed in 3 semesters. The beautiful salon gives students hands-on training with customers and the business practices of running their own business. In the Agriculture Sciences program, students are able to study animal science, soil and crop science, and agriculture business. Each degree will transfer onto a university towards a bachelor's degree. This state-of-the-art greenhouse is used by the agriculture program to study soil and crops. OJC students enrolled in astronomy courses have the unique opportunity to experience real-time space research. The Falcon Telescope is one of 14 telescopes in the world that are interconnected to track satellites and space junk and keep satellites on a different trajectory than that of the space junk. Completed in 2017, the auxiliary gym is the practice facility for OJC Intercollegiate Wrestling program. The gym is also used for practice facility for other sports. OJC offers students 2 types of student housing options. The Conley dorms are a group of 6 buildings that are designed in suite style. Each suite can accommodate up to 4 students in 2 rooms and are joined together by a bathroom. Wunsch Hall is an older style dorm and has a men's dorm on the west, a women's dorm on the east, joined in the middle with a large central lobby that has study areas, pool table, and ping pong tables. Wunsch Hall is less expensive than the Conley dorms. In addition to cost, the biggest difference between the 2 dorms is that in Wunsch Hall, each floor has 2 community bathrooms, so you'll be sharing a large bathroom, sinks, and showers with several others on your floor. Just like Conley, Wunsch Hall provides 2 twin beds, 2 dressers, 2 desks and chairs, 2 closets, has air and heat, Wi-Fi, and basic cable to hook up a TV. Both dorms have free laundry facilities. The Rattler's Den cafeteria is just a short walk from the on-campus dorms. As part of your room and board package, you'll be able to choose from a meal plan that allows you to enjoy either 15 or 19 meals a week. The Rattler's Den serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and brunch and dinner over the weekends. The Rattler's Den has a wide variety of food choices, including fresh fruit, salad, soup, pizza, sandwiches, and wraps, a home cooking station, as well as a grill, an international station, and fresh baked desserts. Students at OJC have full access to an amazing fitness center at no charge. The fitness center is stocked with the very latest fitness equipment for the students, including 2 racquetball courts. With early morning and late evening hours, there should be plenty of time to make this one of your daily stops. The McDivitt Center Gym, also known as the Pit, is home to the men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and men's wrestling teams. Other athletic teams supported by OJC include baseball, softball, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's rodeo, and men's and women's golf. The final destination on this campus tour is the Kashari Indian Kiva and Museum. The Kashari is a historic site located on the OJC campus that houses a remarkable collection of Native American art and artifacts. The Kiva itself provides the center stage for the world-famous Kashari Indian dancers, who perform their interpretive dances several times a year for visitors who come from across the country and from throughout the world to enjoy this unique glimpse of Native American art, culture, and traditions. Thank you for taking the time to enjoy this video tour of Otero Junior College. Of course, you've not seen everything, but we hope you have a better understanding of how the campus looks, some of the programs we offer, and how you might see yourself as part of the Otero Rattler family. Being a student at OJC is truly a unique experience. You have the academics, amenities, and activities of a big university, along with the personal connections and community experiences that can only be found in a small rural college. We hope you will seriously consider becoming a student at OJC. To learn more, visit our website at www.ojc.edu. Thank you.
Amazing all the programs we can study towards being prepared for our dream careers.
And OJC is one of a few community colleges that offers college-level athletics and on-campus housing.
Truly, we need to sign up for My Colorado Journey to see how college can prepare us for our desired career and which one to choose. Our next video, by Jim Earley, another scientist at Battelle, brings a great deal of information on environmental science
and how his values made him successful.
Hi, my name is Jim Earley. It's a pleasure to be here talking with you today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell my story. I'm a research leader at Battelle. I'm also the chief scientist at the Pueblo Chemical Agent Destruction Pilot Plant Project, or PCAP as it's known. I've been working at PCAP since I moved to Pueblo in July 2003. I grew up in a large Catholic family on Long Island in a suburb of New York City during the 1960s and early 70s. I had 2 older brothers and 3 older sisters. We were all about a year apart in ages, and I was the youngest. As a kid, I played several team sports, including basketball, baseball, and football. I also played tennis and skied in Vermont during the winter. I have to admit that my passion for skiing was one reason why I moved to Colorado 17 years ago. I also liked to build things with my brothers and play with my sister's chemistry set growing up, but I can't really say that those activities played a major role in my becoming an engineer and scientist. What I can say is that I like going to school and learning new things. Except for the occasional struggles with math, I did well in school and graduated near the top of my high school class. My parents, who were both college graduates, always emphasized the importance of working hard and getting a good education. They were influential in my decision to pursue a degree in engineering because I think they believed there would be more opportunities for better paying jobs after graduation. I also liked the idea of working in a field like civil engineering, where you could design something such as a building, road, dam, or water system, and then see it actually being built and used by people. That seemed very satisfying to me. So I ended up going to Duke University and getting a degree in civil engineering. After graduating from college in 1977, I started my career in engineering as a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer in Thailand. Peace Corps is a U.S. government-sponsored volunteer organization whose mission is to provide assistance, both technical and educational, to developing nations around the world. After several months of intense language and cross-cultural training, I was assigned to live and work in a province on the Malay Peninsula in southern Thailand, where I assisted the local government in developing small water supply projects for rural villages. It turned out that the Peace Corps was one of the hardest yet most rewarding experiences in my life. Living and working in another country where the language, culture, food, smells, climate, and living conditions are completely foreign to what I was used to growing up was challenging and at times almost overwhelming. However, I grew to love Thailand so much that I extended my Peace Corps service for a 3rd year and then stayed in Thailand for another 3 years after the Peace Corps, working as a project engineer for several international aid agencies, building water supply and sanitation systems for large refugee camps along the Thai border with Laos and Cambodia. Thailand is where I met my wife of 39 years and where we had the first of our 3 children. Probably the second hardest thing I've done in my life was going to graduate school after being out of school for over 6 years and getting my doctorate. As a result of my work in Thailand, I had become interested in water and wastewater treatment systems. In the US, having clean water supplied directly to our homes and systems to convey and clean our dirty water are things most of us take for granted. Yet many communities around the world, and even some areas in this country, don't have access to clean water and sanitation. I had taken a couple of courses in those subjects during my undergraduate studies at Duke, but decided I needed more in-depth knowledge before pursuing a career in those areas. So after leaving Thailand in 1983, I enrolled in a civil and environmental engineering graduate program at the University of Notre Dame. Originally, I had planned on getting a master's degree, but after a year of coursework, decided to skip the master's program and enter the PhD program. My PhD research, which was sponsored by the US Department of Energy, involved treating highly contaminated wastewater from coal conversion processes using bacteria to convert the contaminants to methane gas for energy. After many long days and nights studying in the library, working on experiments in the lab, and writing my dissertation, I persevered and finally received my doctorate in 1990. After graduation, I stayed on at Notre Dame for another 5 years as a research faculty in the Center for Bioengineering and Pollution Control. I also became manager and part owner of a small engineering consulting firm based in South Bend, Indiana, that specialized in the treatment of municipal, industrial, and hazardous wastewater. It was during that time that I first got involved in the demilitarization of chemical weapons. And with Army researchers in Maryland, we developed a chemical and biological process to destroy chemical agents. The process we developed is the same process now being used to destroy the mustard agent drained from artillery shells at the Pueblo Chemical Depot. Fast forward to 2003, when I relocated to Pueblo to work on the Pueblo Chemical Agent Destruction Pilot Plant project. For the first 12 years on the project, I worked for several different Army contractors, managing technical oversight services for the government's field office. In 2015, I joined Battelle and became the PCAP Chief Scientist. As Chief Scientist, I serve as head of PCAP's Science Department, which consists of a small group of highly dedicated and talented engineers and scientists, many with advanced degrees, responsible for providing technical advice and support to other project departments, including environmental permitting, operations, engineering, safety, laboratory, and project management. One of our primary responsibilities is to ensure that air emissions from the plant are not harmful to human health and the environment. That requires periodic sampling of the air emissions from the plant stacks, or chimneys, analyzing the samples for hundreds of compounds, and then assessing both the short-term and long-term impacts of those emissions on the local food chain and human health, including plant workers and the local populations. We do that through an approved process called the Multiple Pathway Health Risk Assessment, or MPHRA for short. The MPHRA, which is updated quarterly or when a new operation comes online, is reviewed and approved by the Colorado Department of Health and the Environment. So that's my story in a nutshell. There are 3 things I'd like you to take away from my talk today. First, you will recall that at the beginning of my talk, I mentioned that I played a lot of sports growing up. The reason I did that was because sports, especially team sports, taught me the importance of teamwork, not just in sports, but in almost everything we do in life. It's especially critical for the work we do here in Pueblo. Second, it's important that you set goals for yourself and then work as hard as you can to achieve those goals. Each goal can be a stepping stone to your life's work. Third, don't be afraid to take chances, to try new things, explore new ideas, and go out of your comfort zone. For it may be in that exploration that you find out what you're passionate about and what path to take for a career. Those were some of the key factors in my success, along with a lot of luck and support from friends and family.
Boy, those STEM careers offer so many options. What's the definition of attitude?
I just happen to know that one. Attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something.
Right, and it's very important when looking for a job and keeping a job. Just watch.
Hello, my name is Annette. As part of the Career Preparation Series, I want to share with you a little bit about my life, as well as my career path and some of the things I've discovered that employers are looking for in an employee. I grew up with 2 loving parents and 4 brothers in a 2-bedroom house. We were just your average middle-class family. My dad worked at the steel mill, took all the overtime he could get, and did electrical work on the side to make sure we never went without. I always tell folks that with only 2 bedrooms, my mom and dad finally dug out the basement when I became too old to share my room with my brothers. I'm telling you this in case you think you have it rough. We weren't rich by any means, but we were lucky to have 2 parents who never stopped instilling the importance of honesty, integrity, and the benefit of hard work, as well as the value of a good education. We were an ornery bunch. I truly enjoyed school and I was a good student. I excelled in math and language skills. My brothers, on the other hand, seemed to me that they were never really interested in school, and I personally thought they'd be going to prison before they went to college. Boy, was I wrong. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that all things are possible for all people. My unruly brothers who didn't appreciate school all excelled in college. I can't tell you how proud I am of them. Despite many challenges, once they found their passion, they all succeeded in their chosen career path. My oldest brother is a doctor, the next 2 are electronic engineers, and my little brother has a chemistry degree with a master's in finance. Their talents reach far beyond that. Between them, they are professional furniture makers, musicians, carpenters, artists, professors. They all reside right here in Pueblo. Not bad for the honoriest bunch of boys on the block. I took a different path. Before my senior year of high school, I started working for a home improvement retailer. It was the largest in town at the time. It was an excellent company with great pay and great benefits. We were all well trained in every department. I became very good at electrical and plumbing. I designed sprinkler systems and kitchen cabinets. I could rekey your locks and mix your paint. We had one of the largest lighting displays in the retail world, and I can tell you that I personally wired and hung thousands of display light fixtures. My having this kind of knowledge makes my husband the luckiest man on earth. His honey-do list is usually pretty short. Very shortly after graduating high school, and despite my young age, I was moved into management. This made the decision to go to college a very difficult one, as I was now making a significant income and there was so much more potential. I chose to stay with this company. During my 13 years with this company, I moved into higher management and took on the responsibility of helping run every aspect of the entire store operations. I had the good fortune of meeting my husband, who worked for the company as well. He was a construction superintendent who traveled the country building and remodeling the stores. Unfortunately, this company became a target for a corporate raider, and it was forced to close. As sad as that was, I left there with a wealth of knowledge and skills and went to work as an executive assistant to the owner of a small manufacturing company. On my first day of employment, I decided to spend the day looking through the processes they had in place and discovered several thousands of dollars in uncollected invoices that were up to 3 years old. I also noticed that the sales staff were exempting organizations that were not legitimately exempt from paying sales tax. This led the owner to break ties with his accountant and setting me up to do all of his accounting. This meant he had to purchase accounting software, and we had to learn to use it. This then led to him hiring an accounting/business manager to work with me every day for a year. Talk about a one-on-one education. I was taught all aspects of business accounting from payroll to tax filing. I took over accounts payable and receivables and all that was required. With everything I learned from my previous employer, I also helped him to build his business by creating employee policies and putting together a benefits package that would help him to retain these employees. With my past work experience, I was able to help him in every aspect of his business and became invaluable to him. After 7 years of working with this company, my husband decided that it was time for us to fulfill his dream of owning our own construction company. I was ready and armed with the accounting skills necessary to run our new office. However, there was a lot more to learn about the construction world and all it entailed. With the help of that same accountant and business manager, I did all that was necessary to acquire the knowledge to handle all things construction, such as workers' comp, certified payrolls, liability insurances, safety programs, just to name a few. I can tell you that being a construction office manager who had a background in the home improvement industry was quite an asset to our company. Our main focus was on commercial construction, and we played a big part in many large projects throughout Colorado, including the construction of PCAP, my current project of employment. My husband had what he called the back to school program. We often had friends ask us to hire their sons during summer break, and he would always ask the parents, do you want them to become a skilled carpenter or go to college? If their answer was go to college, he would give them the worst jobs, and by the end of the summer they would look forward to going back to school. This was true with my youngest brother. He'll tell you himself that working for my husband inspired his master's degree. We worked together for 15 years when my parents both became incapable of taking care of themselves. So I quit working and spent a year taking care of them full-time prior to their passing. During this time, I was approached by a global construction management company who saw my resume. They were working on a project called the Southern Delivery System. This was a $1 billion construction project that included a water treatment plant, 3 pump stations, and the underground installation of 64 miles of 66-inch pipe from Colorado Springs. After many conversations and meetings, they held the position for me until I was able to go back to work. When the project was over, I went to work for a company that provided innovative solutions to infrastructure challenges across the U.S. and Canada. I was hired as the office manager for a large highway and bridge repair project. Along with all my other duties, this presented a whole new set of challenges as I had never worked on a state highway project before. I was now working with the Department of Civil Rights and the Colorado Department of Transportation and learning to follow all the state and federal guidelines for this type of project. I am currently employed as an administrative assistant for Battelle Memorial Institute at the Pueblo Chemical Agent Destruction Pilot Plant, known as PCAP, where we are one of the 2 remaining demilitarization plants in the United States that are working towards destroying the stockpile of chemical weapons at the Pueblo Chemical Depot in a safe and environmentally compliant manner. I am very proud to have the opportunity to be part of this important event in history. I've shared my career path with you because, like myself, not everyone has a clear direction on what they want to do when they grow up, and that's okay. My path has given me an education like no other and the opportunity to work with some amazing projects and with some exceptional people. I attribute my success to always being willing to learn and having a great attitude. I can honestly say that I've enjoyed every minute of it. What I haven't shared with you is that throughout my career, one of the responsibilities I've had for most of my employers, including my own business, has been the hiring of employees, a job I have never taken lightly. I believe that the success of any business depends on the strength of their employees, and believe me, one bad apple can spoil the whole bunch. So I'd like to share with you what I looked for in an employee and what I believe all employers are hoping to find. Keep these in mind because you'll need them later. Let's start with your attitude. You've heard that attitude is everything, or with the right attitude you can do anything. Your attitude at work can impact your career as well as your general outlook on life. Having a positive attitude at work may not make you better at your job, but it will improve the way people view you as a person, so they may be more inclined to help in your success. People with great attitudes are usually the ones who are willing to contribute and get involved, something that employers welcome. I personally feel that people with the right attitude are often chosen for higher positions because it's contagious. I was a sonic car hop when the manager of the home improvement center I talked about earlier asked me to interview for a job opening they had. He said he ate there often and was always impressed with my attitude. My first real job found me. Let's talk about work ethic. Employers love an employee who has a set of moral principles. Show up on time, ready to work. Do what's expected of you, but don't be afraid to go above and beyond. Meet your targets and deadlines. I worked with a young engineer once that would show up to work, spend at least a half an hour putting on her makeup, and then another half an hour making and eating her breakfast. Then would complain at the end of the day that she didn't have enough time to get all of her work done. Imagine that. Honesty. Employers want to know that they can trust the people working for them. Make sure the information you provide your employer is accurate, fair, and straightforward. If you don't have the skills or knowledge to do something, don't say you do. If you make a mistake, don't cover it up. Employers are always willing to work with a sincere person who's willing to learn and is doing their best. Flexibility. I can't tell you how many times someone took themselves out of the hiring decision by telling me during an interview the many reasons they couldn't or wouldn't be available to work on certain days or times. I've actually had a person tell me that they like to party on Saturday night, so they wouldn't be available on Sundays. Sometimes the reasons are legitimate. However, if an employer is trying to fill a particular time slot, you won't be considered when you limit yourself. Employers need employees who care and can react quickly to changing business conditions. I suggest that you get the job first, prove your value, and then your employer will be more inclined to work with you on your specific needs. Being a team player, a person who's an excellent team player, in my opinion, is invaluable. They tend to foster friendships and loyalty. They're motivators and try to support and inspire others. They're dedicated, accountable, dependable, committed, and optimistic. While others simply go about their job by diligently working to achieve the company goals, don't get me wrong, being a person who works better independently or who is not a cheerleader is not a bad employee. What you don't want to be is the person known as the malcontent. Every company I've ever worked for has had one of these people. This is the person who can't function effectively with others. One who bears a grudge for a sense of grievance or foiled ambition. Maybe they're just unhappy. They're often bitter and want everyone to be as unhappy as they are. They often do things their way and are quick to point out the shortcomings of others. They hold information hostage instead of sharing their knowledge. They hold others back and for the most part are just awful to be around. Don't be this person. They're usually weeded out and no one should be that miserable. Communication skills. You need to communicate clearly and effectively in many mediums, verbally, by email, over the phone, just to name a few. I once interviewed a young girl who stated on her application that she had excellent communication skills. The application also asked why she left her recent employer. Her answer was, not enough hours, spelled ENUFF. That told me all I needed to know about her communication skills. Communication also includes listening skills and the ability to follow directions and provide feedback. Being eager and willing to learn and increase our skills. Employers are always being presented with new challenges. They often need to find out new information and explore new ways of doing things. Be innovative. Be a part of the solution. People with an interest in learning and a willingness to share it with others become invaluable. Problem-solving skills. Employers are looking for people who are motivated to take on a challenge, who are analytical thinkers with strong observational skills that are willing to identify issues and explore potential solutions. I once saved the company I was working for several $100,000 by taking it upon myself to track the progress of a particular contractor's work. After their work was complete, they claimed that they were underpaid. When they attempted to collect, I had everything the company needed to disprove their claim. I was definitely the hero on that day. Loyalty. Companies love employees who are devoted to the success of their organization. They know that these types of employees perform to their highest standards. Their work is more productive and efficient. The company usually highly promotes and rewards this type of employee. For me, as an employee, it's always been important that I take ownership of my position. I learn all that I can about what is required of me and more, then work on making improvements wherever possible. Being part of the solution. I like to treat everyone with dignity and respect, and I have a lot of fun while I'm doing it. Remember that you first have to get the job. Always show up to your interviews prepared, dress appropriately, be honest. This is your only opportunity to make a great first impression. Walt Disney said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. It's time to start pursuing your dreams.
Her journey was incredible, from a car hop at Sonic to owning her own company.
And all through on-the-job training, opportunities, and experiences. Amazing what the right attitude can accomplish.
Getting your first job is scary when you have to interview for it.
Easier when your mom's the manager and just hires you.
No matter if we are being interviewed for scholarships or employment.
This is one part of the series you will want to watch over and over.
Other than your professional resume, interviewing is the next big thing. Resumes give the facts of your professional life, such as skills, work history, and accolades, whereas interviewing allows the potential employer to get to know your personality, communication skills, brainstorming skills, and comprehension and retention abilities. Interviewing for some is a walk in the park, whereas others may be terrified of the idea. I'm going to give you the top 5 tips for interviewing. Number 1, dress appropriately. They say that first impressions are everything, and for most employers, that is the truth. Make sure you dress appropriately for the job. Business attire is the best way to impress your employer, as it shows your professionalism and respect for the job. Slacks, dress pants, belts, ties, blouses, skirts, and dresses are the easiest way to impress. Make sure, gentlemen, that pants are secure and clothing is iron and wrinkle-free. And ladies, make sure that skirts are appropriate length and blouses are modest. Personal hygiene and appearance. Dress is important, and personal hygiene and appearance go hand in hand with professionalism. Make sure that you do not roll out of bed and go to an interview, but you shower, shave, brush your teeth, and make yourself presentable. Another aspect of interviewing is also outer appearance in regard to piercings and tattoos. Though most employers do not care about tattoos in an initial interview, it is wise to cover your tattoos as best as you can until you know your employer's stance on them. Piercing should be done in modesty until an employer lets you know, as well as what is allowed and what is not. And if you love jewelry, don't jingle-jangle your way through an interview so they pay more attention to your jewelry than your answers. Leave that type of jewelry at home. Remember, jobs may have safety protocols, and most employers are still old school and do not allow such things. Number 2, introduce yourself. One of the biggest parts of an in-person interview is introducing yourself to an employer. During this time, you may be asked, so tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your time to give a clear, honest response to who you are. One of the rules of thumb is to stick to a professional acronym of SEA, which stands for Skills, Education, and Attributes. This allows you to quickly cover the basics of who you are. Let me give you an example. My name is Janay McLemore, and I have over 13 years of administrative experience with a skill set ranging from communication skills, time management skills, typing, data entry, policy and procedures, and public speaking. I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management from Colorado State University, and I pride myself on open communication, honesty, and dedication. Remember, keep the information short and sweet and leave all personal information out of this segment. By personal, I mean any items that can be used against you during your interview. These items can be anything ranging from age, race, gender, religious beliefs, etc. Number 3, be prepared. Nothing worse than showing up to an appointment and not having what you need. So keep in consideration the same thing for an interview. Look up and go over interview questions that most employers ask and think of ways on how you could respond. Ask a family member or friend to do a mock interview with you so you can role play. This will help you get a feeling for what it's going to be like in your interview. You can do this multiple times so that you are ready and prepared for questions and responses. If no one is available, talk to yourself in a mirror or videotape yourself using a phone if available. The day before, take a ride to the location of your interview so that you arrive on time. As they say in the military, if you aren't 15 minutes early, you're late. Make sure to have copies of your resume, cover letters, pens, and personal portfolio to seal the deal and to show your accomplishments and your readiness. By looking, acting, and presenting prepared, you show your potential employer you are serious about a job. Number 4, questions. Remember to be honest when replying to questions so that you are not lying or fibbing information to sound and look good. Remember that if you are asked a question you do not know, it is okay to say you do not know. You can follow up with, I do not know that, but if I remember, I will get back to you. Or, I do not know, but I will find out. Responses like this show you are honest and are willing to find out the asked information. Most employers will end an interview with this question. Do you have any questions for me? Most interviewers are nervous and want their interview to end, so they usually respond with no. But make sure that when an employer asks this question, you have 2 to 3 follow-up questions. By doing this, you show you are interested in their company. Though pay, vacation, and benefits are good questions to know, you should always ask different questions about the organization, like, what does a typical schedule look like? Or what is your dress code? Questions like these show the employer you are serious about working for them. Number 5, seal the deal. Make sure that after the interviewers are done asking questions and finish their final remarks, that you thank the organization for their time and consideration. It would not hurt to send a thank you letter in the mail showing your professionalism and interest, or even an email. Remember, good eye contact and firm handshakes also go a long way. Leave your contact information, business card, or resumes and cover letters with your interviewer. Stand, shake hands if appropriate, and thank them once again, and tell them you look forward to talking with them soon and make your exit. I hope this is a good initial foundation to some basics of interviewing skills. Just like your resume, which is a living document, so is interviewing. As you interview, you will learn to add specifics about yourself and your skills. This is the one time in your life where you get to brag about yourself, skills, and traits. Also, it is okay to enjoy and have fun in an interview. Let people know who you are and what you bring to the table. After all, why are you the best person for this position?
Excellent tips for people of all ages.
One tip she forgot is don't answer a text message or phone call during an interview.
Duh, like don't take your friends to wait in the waiting room with you.
Okay, but you have to admit, sometimes common sense does get overlooked.
In 1929, Battelle opened its doors. 90 years later, the world's largest independent research and development company has shown that when presented a challenge, through science and research, it can be done. The goal? A safer, healthier, more secure world.
From the beginning, Battelle was known for its metallurgical research. That reputation helped launch a commitment to national security needs. Today, Battelle produces discrete armored vehicles and develops technologies to identify and defeat ever-evolving cyber threats.
Innovations in environmental protection are an important part of Battelle's research. For decades, Battelle has supported efforts to remove a variety of contaminants from the environment and safely destroying our nation's last remaining stockpiles of chemical weapons.
Throughout our 90 years, protecting public health has been a priority of Battelle. For decades, we have assessed the toxicology and health impacts of substances in the world around us. We've even made it possible for a paralyzed man to regain control of his hand with his own thoughts.
Battelle's work extends across the globe on a Xerox machine, a barcode at the store, an effective airport security screening, a new vaccine to protect against Ebola. All of these advancements are due in part to the work of Battelle.
As Battelle continues to solve what matters most, we look to the needs of the future, providing trust and assurance of microelectronics, addressing dangerous contaminants like PFAS, supporting research infrastructure projects so we can better understand issues like ecosystem change, advancing neurotechnology to help repair and enhance the human body.
Battelle, 90 years of solving, and we're not done yet.
Amazing how many different careers we have to choose from, and these are only samples.
From on-the-job trainings to college courses and degrees and the military.
Did you know My Colorado Journey has a career exploration section to help narrow down fields we might be interested in?
Sure did. And My Colorado Journey also added a section called Enrich. It helps us with budgeting, money management, and more after we start earning the big money. The adults in our family can even start using that section now by setting up their own account.
Nice. Until next time, know what path you are on your journey to success.